Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for week 4 in Mall Simulator. And I've really got to get caught up on these because I think I just recorded week 8, and I'm really looking forward to getting back to doing the voiceover and the playing at the same time, just so I have a bit more I'm more up to date on what's happening. Let's put it that way. Because as it stands, yeah, not so much. I do not recall what happens at the end here. The one thing that I do know for sure is this game has been really hard to put down, but I'm finding the bigger the mall gets, the less I have to do during the day, and also the more chaotic it gets. Like, for the most recent, for week 8, I think, honestly, I'll end up cutting a lot of the footage from each day. One, that before any edits, I think it's 3.5 hours long. Now, part of that's distracted driving, of course. Getting called away, doing other things, just letting a day run and not actually being at the computer. But as I get more and more stores, more and more licenses for more stock, I'm finding that I'm able to buy enough stock that I don't necessarily need to go back to that store during the day. A couple things that I hope are on the horizon. One, I hope that I'll be able to move where the cash registers are, because it does not seem to like the idea of me doing that. Now, I remember watching Let's Game It Out, and he was able to do it, so I might have just been, I don't know, something might have been going goofy there. Or the devs watched Let's Game It Out and they were like, you know what? No, that's not what we want. That's not what our vision was. We're just going to not let you move these fucking things at all until such time as we can set them where you can't move them beyond the confines of the shop they're supposed to be in. I could sort of see it going either way. It's either user error on my part, or the devs were like, oh no. Let's game it out. Like, Josh, you're just bricking our ship. We don't want you to do that. So I would love to be able to do that, and if that's user error, hopefully I figure that out soon. I can guarantee you it does not happen before week 8, though. That being said, I would love the ability to add more. I would love the option to add more stocking employees to stores. I know mall workers are a thing that's on the roadmap, so I'm hoping that there will be just custodians that will go around and refill all this shit that I'm doing right now. I would love to have more people stocking. I would also love the ability to hire more cashiers and buy more cash registers. It's not a huge deal right now, but I feel like if I could have even 2, if it was a max of 2, I feel like that might help some of the flow. The people riding these fucking escalators, I really wish they would walk up them. And again, I just really want the elevator. I want the elevator to mean something, because I have an entire other end of the mall that's not being used. And I feel like if I could have people hit all the stores, go up the escalator, hit everything up here that they want to do, and then go down the elevator and out the door, that would be phenomenal. So here's hoping we'll see what happens in the future. But for right now, even without any of those additions, this game's just been a blast. I've enjoyed this game. Also, trying to stock on those tables is annoying as hell. You have to have your cursor dead on. I am enjoying this game more than I'm enjoying any other shop simulator game that I am playing or that I have played recently. Like, the only thing that comes close, at least to me, is Trading Card Game Simulator. And even that's just because that was precisely my niche. That was something I had actually wanted to do for a long, long time, was actually run my own card shop. The downside to that is most of the people that I know who have tried it, it has crashed and burned miserably. Sometimes through no fault of their own. One guy I know got a divorce, and so he had to sell the business basically to pay his wife off. But I've seen a handful of them open and almost immediately, they're shuttered. Because there just is no competing with the guys that are established. And like for me, in the area that I'm currently in, there are 5 separate game shops, and that does not include if you want to just go and pick up a few packs of cards at Target or Walmart or, wherever else. I do make gratuitous use of the speed up again, especially once we start getting to the overnights. I think the final 2 days are sped through because not a whole lot's going on. But I do tend to just blitz the footage of once the mall is closed and I'm literally just waiting for people to leave. So just so everyone's aware, there will be quite a number of instances of the footage just going extra quick. I did it a little early for this one, but if you happen to be actually watching the stream, as soon as you see that clock get close to 2200 hours, and said footage is about to go crazy. And then, like I said, the last 2 days, I I punch it again. I will say, I feel like I expanded too fast. If I were playing this game again, and I'm avoiding doing that, I'm avoiding having 2 separate save files. Like, doing these recordings has become my version of the meat at dinner, right? Like, if you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding. So, like, I want to just keep playing this, and it's like, well, no, you're not allowed to play more until you do a recording, until you do a voiceover. So I'm really hoping to get caught up on. I'm really hoping to get caught up on these and get through the voiceover for week 8, and then be able to actually play it live again. And we will see. We'll see what ends up happening. Like, this game has been so hard to stay away from, but at the same time, I don't want to do the voiceover and then sort of go back in time you know, like the voiceover for week 8, especially since I'm figuring out Adobe Premiere still, and every time I do it, like I'm tweaking the dialogue settings a bit more, trying to tweak the all the sound and get everything balanced and sounding right. So I don't want to record what will end up being a later episode and have everything sound the way it does. And then the previous episodes are all getting better and better and better and better. And then week 8, it drops back off. And then it jumps back up again, you know, so I'm hesitant to do that. It's also just weird doing editing of any kind because I'm used to just slap up a screen recorder and just play a game for an hour or so. Like the most editing I used to do was just, I recorded my voice in a different program. So this whole series has been an exercise in like, let's try and make it better. We're obviously not there yet. We're not doing like effects and all that other fun stuff, but we're getting there. And that, you know, that's another thing. If I record, let's say week 8, but then on week 6, I figure out how to do like something amazing and I'm doing like flashy title cards, and all of a sudden it's not there in week 8 and it's, you know, super noticeable just because it's not there anymore. So we are getting more licenses for the game shop, picking up more and more games, and the more stores we have, the more licenses, the more we expand, the more customers will show up. So we're grabbing more licenses, we're stocking stuff up. But yeah, if, circling back here, if I had the knowledge that I have now, right, to go back and start a brand new game with the knowledge that I have now, there are so many things that I would do differently. And if anyone else is planning on jumping into this, if this looks like fun, try not to expand quite as quick as I do. Reason for that, there are a lot of days where I'm ending it like, I think the lowest I ended at $5. And so that really puts you in a bind, especially if like, oh, well, I forgot to pay all the bills, didn't pay the rent, what have you. Also, this is the first week where we're not collecting our earnings from our passive income machines. I'm refilling all the machines. I'm keeping everything stocked, but I don't collect the money until the very end. And I just thought that would be an interesting way to do it. I think I spoke last time of there's a WoW YouTuber who does a series called Gold Locked. And Gold Locked? Goldbound? Now I can't remember the series title. And I feel bad because I really enjoy his videos. Huh. Anyway, he can't leave a zone until he earns enough gold himself to purchase a WoW token, and then he's allowed to go to the next zone and then repeat the process using now these 2 zones that he's unlocked, and so on and so forth. But the way he's been doing it, he won't reveal how much he actually earned. He'll open all of his incoming gold from the mail at the end of the video. And I thought that was a neat thing. So I was like, you know what? We'll do something similar here as well. I like the restockers in this game, but I either wish they were faster or that I could have more of them. Especially later on, like, I think the week I just did, I ended up ordering something like 50 boxes at once for the clothing store. And by the time I made my rounds and I'd ordered stuff for every other store, there were still like 25 boxes left to go. And I ended up just grabbing them and shoving them into the store so he had less room to travel. Or less distance to travel, rather. Keeping an eye on everything, making sure it's all going up in value, because this is the first time I had done this. So I believe the next worker we're going to get is someone to restock the game store. But I could be wrong. Again, this is a lot of me going through this with you guys. And I will say, one of the things that I would like to see something happen with, I'm not quite sure how they could make it better, because I feel like the time goes too fast in this game. I feel like time itself needs to be slowed down a little bit so that you have a bit more time in the day. And I feel like once the mall is closed, people can finish up whatever transaction they're doing, but then they make their way to the exit. Because as it is right now, someone can spawn in at 9:59, walk to the mall, and time stops ticking up at 10 o'clock. So I could not tell you exactly how long people are in there, but especially now, I've got 2 or 3 stores upstairs. I've got more machines, all the stores down here, and it's just absolute insanity. Like, I will run all around. I'll restock all the stores, see what they need, purchase everything. All the shelves will be completely restocked by the workers. And again, sometimes I'm buying like 40, 50 boxes at a time. And so it's taking the workers forever to get stuff done. At the same time, by the time they do actually finish, and I've grabbed boxes and I've thrown boxes into the stores so they can do it faster, by the time they're done, there are still a couple of stragglers milling about, riding the elevator up, riding the elevator down. They want to go to this store, then they want to go back upstairs and go to a different store. And I would swear that sometimes it takes half an hour to close out for the day. So I'm not quite sure of the most elegant solution to help alleviate that, but I feel like there's got to be something. Also, can I just say that I'm really pissed off at Grand Theft Auto 5. At this juncture, it's old news, but I enjoyed that game a lot. I didn't really care for the online multiplayer. I really just wanted to play single player. It was a fun game that I could just sit down, play for half an hour, you know, do something crazy, see how many cops I could get after me, see if I could evade them or if I die trying. But like, just pick it up, play for half an hour, put it down, and I'm done. It was a fun little game. I really enjoyed it. Again, I did not care for the multiplayer, did not have any interest in the multiplayer. Sort of like Fallout 76. I feel like Fallout was a good single player game, and then when you try and make it multiplayer, stuff goes off the rails too fast. I think I played it once or twice with my brother and our friend, and that was about it. Like, I dipped my toe into online, then I didn't need it anymore. Recently, I guess not so recently at this point, they put out a patch where you had to install this kernel level anti-cheat to even be able to boot the game. And yeah, after the fact, it came out where it's like, oh, well, if you run the executable with these parameters, it'll bypass the check to see if you're running the anti-cheat. No. At this point, it's the principle of the thing. Especially because they put out this anti-cheat and it didn't matter. Didn't help. That same day they put it out, there were already people showing off how they'd gotten around it, and they're still, cheating, doing whatever they want to do. So it's like, okay, well, that's extra useless because I don't want to play online. People have already broken it, but you're still insisting, like, no, you have to install this software. So I just ended up uninstalling it. And that's, that was a game I had 400 or 500 hours in. I enjoyed that game. So I definitely got my money's worth. I don't feel like I didn't. But, man, that sucks. And I'm still annoyed about that. Sort of reminds me of World of Warcraft more recently. What was it? Guild beat one of the latest raids. Either super undergeared or they didn't wear gear. And it was some sort of exploit. So Blizzard banned them and made this whole song and dance about how they had fixed, they found it, they patched it, that exploit's done. So this guild, since they all got banned, made brand new accounts, leveled back up to max level, and did it again. And I mean, hats off to them, man. That's funny as shit. And if you happen to be watching the screen, I know everything's in kind of super speedy mode at the moment, but if you're looking at some of these machines as I mouse over them, and you're like, that money seems to be going up an awful lot. It absolutely does. For anyone that can't look at the screen because it's going really fast and you'll get motion sick, and this game is definitely not a good one for super speed. The claw machine with Kirby has like $4,000 in it. And it's day 24. We still have 4 days to go. We're only 3 days in, and we're pulling in some decent money. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing insane. Also, I know I had looked at that storefront at the back corner, and seeing what I can put there. I don't remember if it was on the list. I do end up putting the tech store there. That was a mistake. Again, if I play this over again, I would play so many things differently. The cafeteria is amazing. And if I'd gotten it earlier, I would say the cafeteria is pretty OP. You do not get to see the cafeteria until week 8. But I just put it in the most recent video I'd recorded. Every person that sits at the table, every few seconds that they're at the table, it ticks up more mall experience. So I think I have something like 8 tables, and the amount of mall experience that I'm getting is just unreal. And if I'd had the foresight to do that a bit earlier, I feel like it really would have helped me out. The tech store does not help me out as much as I would hope. I also kind of wish I could see ledgers for each individual store. Or like at least some type of breakdown in the end of day reporting. To say like, you earned this much from the toy shop, you earned this much from the supermarket. Yeah, cafeteria, absolutely amazing. I would assume Burger Shop works roughly the same way. But there are just so many bits and bobs that I wish I knew, and I would have done so much better. But again, for a first playthrough, sight unseen, I don't even know if there was a demo, but didn't play a demo, didn't look up other people playing this game, have no idea what other people have done outside of Let's Game It Out, because love his videos. I don't think my brother nor myself had laughed harder than the Astroneer video with the winches when he's running across the planet with like 16 things winched to himself. We still quote that all the time. It's just absolute insanity, and I love it. So other than Let's Game It Out, I have seen nothing of this game, and I feel like I can't say, well, I watched Let's Game It Out, so I know what to expect. I feel like you can't do that with any of his videos. I know I'm in a mall, and that's about as much as I got from that. Also, it literally just clicked at the beginning of this voiceover that he moved the registers. And I'm still stuck on that, because I kind of want to boot the game right now and see if I can move the goddamn register. But that is something that will have to wait. Must do voiceovers. Also, seriously, if someone else could stock these fucking vending machines, that would be amazing. But oh my god. While the current NPC behavior is to ride the fucking escalator, holy shit. It would take so long for an NPC worker to stock this shit. Like, can you imagine an NPC worker walking back here, riding this fucking escalator up, walking over here, depositing some of these, and then walking it back? Hell, even if they walk it to the other side of the second floor and take the elevator down. Still, I am so excited for updates for this game. I kind of have to hope that the updates for this game take what I think only week 2 is live. This is week 4. So there's 2 more weeks before this one goes live. And then another 4 weeks after that. So I have to hope that there's no updates to this game for a month and a half. Just so I'm more caught up. So when the new updates come out, I'm ready. Or I just release something outside of the current schedule I've been trying to adhere to. Oh my god, give me a hand truck, please. This running all the way back to the front door and only being able to carry one box at a time is just killing my soul. Do you have any idea how hard it is to kill a ginger soul? We don't even typically have souls. Also, one of the other things I absolutely wish I had done sooner, the fucking candy machines. Holy shit. You want to talk about bang for your fucking buck? The goddamn candy machines are probably the best in this game. The final license isn't all that expensive. And I think I'm selling... I think it costs $300 to buy the product. You get 20 of them, and I'm selling them for $100 a piece. The machine is only $500. So the machine plus a box is $800, and I make $2,000. Candy machines, absolutely OP. Claw machines are decent, but candy machines are OP. And again, it's one of those things, if I had known it sooner, I absolutely would have had candy machines. And I likely would not have this game store. This game store brings in a lot of business, don't get me wrong. But, my god, I feel like I have to babysit the game store so much more than I have to babysit the other stores. Like, one of the things I've very quickly learned is, as soon as you open a store, hire a cashier. Immediately after you hire a cashier, hire the stocker. And then pray to the developer gods that eventually they'll give you more stockers. I will say that was a little bit of an ordeal. I couldn't quite think of what I wanted to say after wanting more stockers and whatnot. So I paused the recording. I went back and just sort of listened to what was going on, and the recording sounded bad. So I was like, all right, let me try and tweak this. Let me try and fix this. And nothing I was doing was working. Absolutely nothing. And I was like, well, you know, I haven't changed the setup, haven't changed anything that I do in Premiere. Is it just that I'm using Premiere instead of Audacity? And I'm like, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I pay for Premiere, and Audacity is freeware. It's really good freeware, but it's freeware. I feel like Premiere should be able to be better. So I did a number of different things. I tweaked a lot of different settings. Absolutely nothing was helping. And again, if I knew then what I knew now, I would not have bought the tech store here. Nothing was helping. So I deleted the entirety of the audio recording, and that got to almost 34 minutes. Or a bit over 34 minutes, rather. We were almost at 35. And I went and I checked it. I went and, you know, started doing some recording in Audacity, and I'm like, all right, well, this is not helping either. And I think, honestly, the problem is that instead of drinking water or something more conducive to doing a lot of talking, I'm drinking what amounts to a fruit smoothie. Which is producing a lot of extra saliva, I guess. So it's making the raw recording sound really awful. Don't get me wrong, the smoothie's delicious, but it's not conducive to what I'm trying to do here. So I tried it in Audacity. I did all my usual tricks behind the scenes. Nothing was working. And so finally I'm like, all right, let me look it up, because I feel like I cannot possibly be the only person that's experienced this. I watch so many different kinds of other YouTubers that I feel like somebody has run into this. Somebody, in fact, I'm sure multiple people have run into this. Let me see how to fix it. And yes, there are in fact ways, both in Audacity and in Premiere. I did not try the Audacity way. I did a couple test runs at Premiere. Everything sounded good, and then I'm like, well, great. Now I got to re-record all this shit. I do not. I just need to grab it off of the project, because even though I deleted it, it made a copy. Drag it off of there back onto my timeline. Oh, look, it's been restored. Let me try this new thing in my old recording. Cleaned it right up. So we're back at it. Now we can get on with the show. And so where are we at? We have the stalker for the supermarket. We just got the tech store. The stalker for the tech store is 50 grand. Another reason I would not have built the tech store here had I known that ahead of time. So we're kind of stuck with the tech store. You also can't move the store locations around. Like, once they're there, they're there. Which I can tell you from experience that is not that is not how the real world works. While I may not enjoy going to the mall is where the Lego store is, and it's also where the camera store is. So I tend to be there more often than I like to be, which is still only like once every other month or so. But I I do not like people. And, you know, malls tend to be the bane of my existence. So, but even just going to the mall as infrequently as I do, shit, the candy store my wife and I really enjoy has moved at least twice, and they're talking about moving a third time. Like, so many stores have moved around, so don't tell me that stores don't move in malls. And the mall that I used to work in, when I worked at Sears, my sister still works at that mall, and her store is one of the other anchor stores, and it has taken over 4. Like, right outside of her storefront used to be like a Dollar Tree, I think a pet store, a pharmacy, and something else. And her store has bought out those locations, knocked down the walls. And so now her store is sort of like this great sphinx where the Pauls, you know, the Pauls are the extra stores that they've bought off to the side. So even before you're in the store has opened up around you, and it's just growing into the mall like a parasite. That's something else I'd like to see, like a massive store as a fucking anchor. Also, like I feel like there's almost rooms for plots outside. I know technically that's where the restrooms are on the one side and that's where the elevators are on the other. But I feel like there's space to move those, like bring the front walls out just a little bit so that you can have space in front of them. And I mean, yeah, it'll probably be for like bars and shit if we're being, if we're going off real world examples, but you know, slap a Fishbone bar and grill out there, have like a Dick's Sporting Goods. And again, the tech store just, it costs so much fucking money to get set up. Because you need at least 2 of these fucking tables. It's the one store I think I've seen in this game where what it starts you with isn't all that you need to get started. Like the supermarket, you start with that top 3, and they will all fit on the one shelf that they give you. The game store, they start you with 3 games, they'll all fit on the shelf that they start you with. The fucking tech store gives you 1 phone display case that can hold 2 kinds of phones, and they start you with 4 kinds of phones. The money is creeping up though. The vending machine I just moused over was up to 5,200. We are moving along, and of course, because I spent so much money buying the super expensive fucking phone table and what have you for this tech store, there was no money in the budget left over for a cashier. So now I'm here running the register, and you're just not making a huge amount. Like, they make a big deal like, oh, the tech store's for the, you know, for your wealthier clientele. No. No, it is not. Like, you have so many other things to keep track of. I feel like I wouldn't mind being the cashier at the tech store if I had workers who were handling the out here. But because I cannot yet have workers handling the main part of the mall, I don't want to be stuck being the cashier for the tech store. Yeah, just getting so low on funds that I can't even purchase everything that I need to just to stock this store. And like some of the displays, like the claw machines, these ball baskets, it's so hard to tell when they're full and when they can potentially accept more that you just end up buying extra shit for them. And like maybe that can handle some more soccer balls, maybe that can handle some more volleyballs. I have no clue. I will say, I still do not have a stocker for the tech store. I think I have a stocker for every other store, but not that one. I don't even know if it was available yet, but I wish I could have done the cafeteria, which I've talked a pretty decent amount at. I feel like that would have been almost like a cheat code if I had known to grab that a little earlier. The other one is the arcade. The arcade is fucking amazing. The arcade operates a lot like the slot machine, except you don't, or not the slot machine, the claw machine. Except you don't have to restock it. Once you've bought the machine, that's it. It just stays there and makes money for you forever. So there are so many things where I almost feel like by the time this series comes to a fairly logical conclusion point, I'm hoping that one or two updates will be out, or I'll give it a little bit of time and let some updates come out, and then we're doing this all again. We're restarting, we're playing it from the beginning, and we're gonna see if we can do better this second time around, especially if it's been a few months and I don't quite remember everything. I feel like that will absolutely help. Here's another one where it's like, all right, you know, we gotta, may as well stock some shit because I've got these people still just wandering around. Nope, she decided she wanted to go back upstairs. And it's almost like I am one of those useless fucking corporate overlords for these retail stores. Where it's like, oh, you know, you can't close. You can't just kick people out of the store. You know, what if they want to spend money? That's money we would not have gotten. I always fucking hated that shit. The level of irrational anger I would feel towards customers, especially if there was like inclement weather. Nothing makes you feel more expendable than being stuck at work when there's a blizzard or you know, there's like tornado warnings going off, and where I am along, you know, in the mid-Atlantic states here, tornadoes are not commonplace. They are not something that we deal with on even a yearly basis. But in the past few years, you know, we've had a handful, and some of them have touched down pretty pretty close to us. In fact, one touchdown, I believe, at the mall that my sister works at. So we've had a handful. And you're at work during these weather events where the local government's coming out and saying, like, do not travel if you do not have to. Please stay off the roads. You know, like, this is dangerous enough that if you get stuck, we have to come rescue you. And, like, yes, we're paid to put our lives on the line, but if it's because you're being stupid, we're going to be upset with you. And you just have people, you know, fuck it. There's 1.5 feet of snow outside. We don't care. We're going to pull up to the bookstore because my kids want a new Captain Underpants. And, you know, this snow's not going to help, but, you know, isn't going to stop me. And, you know, they show up and they walk in, stomp the snow off their feet. They look around and go, oh my God, I can't believe they make you guys work in these conditions. Like, motherfucker. If you were not here, we would not have to be here. And nobody fucking gets that. Like, my favorite customers in those moments were always the ones that weren't at my fucking store. I remember one of the snowstorms I was there working, and I grabbed one of the easel displays so I could show, you know, stand the book up and show it. And I put it at my register because I think it was me and one other person in the building. And I don't even know if I was a manager yet at the time. But I put this book up called The Extreme Weather Survival Guide. And I grabbed 2 of them off the shelf. So I had one standing up on the easel and another one right in front of it, laying down, spined out. Because I think at the time corporate was like, you know, we want more booksellers recommending things and, you know, really showing a passion and getting behind books. It doesn't really matter what it is. We just want to push more sales. I was like, well, hell, I can be maliciously obedient to this. So I grabbed this fucking book and I got it there. And older woman and her grandson come in and, again, you know, knock the snow off their shoes, and they're wandering around, and we're just, I mean, I'm seething, but, you know, we're just sitting there waiting for them to figure out what the fuck they're doing. We're waiting for corporate to tell us we can lock up and go home. And she comes up to the register with her grandson. She looks at the book and she's like, what's this? Like, oh, that's my book of the day. She's like, why? I'm like, oh, well, naturally it's because of the lovely weather we're having outside. And she kind of looks at me for a minute and then gets real offended. She's like, you're just being facetious. I'm like, yes, I am. Thanks for noticing. But yeah, nothing will make you feel more expendable than sitting at work because what if a customer wants something and you're not there and we lose out on a $15 sale? I mean, really, in corporate's mind, there's always like, oh, someone might come in and drop $2,000 on Lego. Yeah, they're not going to. Not in a blizzard. Trust me, I know. At the time, anyway, I knew all of the the Lego resellers that would come in. Because we had one guy that actually would drop like $5,000 in Lego. He shipped them all to Singapore because they couldn't get these sets there, and he would resell them in Singapore. And like if there were something that was actually going on, if this guy wanted Lego, he would just call. He wouldn't show up at the store and hope that we're open. So it's nice. It's nice not having to deal with that as much anymore. One, I work a hell of a lot closer to home now. But two, yes, it's still customer facing, and if customers want to be there, we kind of have to be there. But customers are much more willing, especially because it's a lot more like corporate events. Like, oh, there's bad weather, we're not coming for that. Like just this past weekend, I was supposed to go in like 10 o'clock Saturday night to break down an event. And then I've got a set for one tomorrow morning on Monday for an event that's running Tuesday and Wednesday. And it's like, all right, well, you know, I was hanging out with friends of ours, and they didn't end up leaving till like 10:30. So I'm glad I didn't have to go in. But about 7 o'clock or so, my boss calls me and he's like, hey, we don't have to break this stuff down. The clients who are having the event decided that with the snow coming, they don't want to deal with that. So we made it through. We're at week 28. So we still have I believe we still have a day to get through. Let's see. I should still have one day to get through. And there was just a notification like, hey, if you want more customers, you know, you should expand your store. Like, well, what good is that going to do? And I looked at the thing again, and noticed that it does say that it extends your store. It's supposed to. It's not just supposed to extend the stock room. But this time we're pretty well stocked. I don't think there's too awful much where I've got to jump in and buy a whole lot. Check on all the stores again just to make sure. Forget quite where it happens, where I just end up like standing at the base of the escalator and just watching all these people, you know, walk in, walk past me, walk around me. Because that was the actual spark that kicked off looking up how to do the faster footage. And that has not happened yet, so apparently it's not this week. Now that said, I'm debating if I want to keep speeding the footage up, or if I want to just cut footage out. because I could kind of do either or, but I feel like if I leave it in and just speed it up, if anyone is paying attention to it, they can actually see what I did every single day. Whereas if I cut it out, you kind of have to infer. So you guys let me know. You let me know what you prefer. I know my wife would get legitimately motion sick watching this. She can't even watch it in normal time. So I know she'll just be listening to this, but if anyone's actually watching it, you know, let me know if you would prefer me keep it sped up or actually cut out some of the footage. And who knows, maybe I'll actually hold off on editing this until such time as I have an answer to that. There we are, 10 o'clock on the final day. Still a handful of customers in the store. Now remember this one because I think the next thing might open up at level 9. And I'm looking at the experience bar like, yeah, you gotta be kidding me. Fun fact, when you collect money from your passive machines, that does give you experience. So we will, in fact, be hitting level 9 by the end of this. And here this jackass goes. He came down to get his picture taken. Now he's going back up. Got to go to this vending machine. Now we're going to ride it back down. Now, luckily, I think he's done here, but I could be mistaken. Let's see. Nope. He's got to go to the bathroom first. Got to keep us here a little bit longer. But we do get some more mall experience for it. He's gone. And now, 2257, 2261, 7305, 336, 336, 583, 2182, 672, 504, 3630, 2860, 6864, 7579, 8778, 10,769, which brings us to a grand total of $64.9 thousand to end off week 4. So there you have it. I hope everyone's been having fun. Hope you enjoyed. No, I'm certainly enjoying this game. But for now, I will see y'all next time.